You're scared of the dark. Well, we all must face our fears sometime. Actually, what am I saying? Seems like nobody's able to face their fears for about 3 months. Let's see here. I don't know. I'd say make it darker. That's right. You gonna start crying? All right. Well, this is a chance we're just gonna have to take.
Oh, I got that right.
I got the first one wrong.
Oh no.
Yeah, I got the first one.
Hey, can I get partial credit if I did positive infinity -7 instead of
Positive infinity to negative.
like positive infinity and then comma -7?
I mean, you could change the order of the union. That wouldn't change the answer. Like you could certainly write -7.
Hey, I forgot to write my name on my paper. Can I get my paper back?
Wait a second here.
He thought about it.
I'm very gullible, but I'm gonna say no. Let's see here. Anyway, so this one, 84 over 2 is 42, right? So, and then 53 minus 11 is 42, so 42x to the 42. Let's go on here. Problem 3, what we want to do is multiply by x over x. And when you do that, it gives you 1 minus 2x upstairs and 1 plus 3x downstairs.
I got that one right too.
Hooray!
This one.
Yeah, sorry about these lines in the department printers putting lines in things all of a sudden. So sorry about that. Nothing really I can do about it. So let's see here. Basically, the strategy is to factor everything that you can. So I factored out a 4, and I factored that 4 out, factored that 9 out. And in so doing, I found a common x plus 4 that I could cancel. And then, of course, x cubed over x squared is just x. So we're left with 9x over 4. Do you see you got this one?
I don't think so.
Don't think so?
I don't think I did.
Well,
I don't know. These in here are confused.
so this one, so again, we just want to factor. So x squared minus 16 is x plus 4 times x minus 4, or vice versa. I can factor a 2 out of the denominator there. I can factor a 4 and an x out of this one. And I gotta stop using this thing. It's too bright.
Oh, I'll use it.
Yeah. I actually have one that's probably 10, 20 times brighter than that.
That's the one that'll burn.
That's the one that'll burn stuff.
It won't burn anything.
It won't.
No, but it is. It's good. I mean, you could.
I have a little red one in the car that's not as bright as you.
I had a student go to China, and she's like, "Is there anything you want me to bring you anything back from China?" I'm like, "Laser." So she brought me back this like stupidly powerful green laser. It's amazing. But anyway,
Can I use it?
can you use what?
The laser.
No, I think no good will come of it. I have a feeling.
No, I'm not going to aggravate you or anything.
But you see if Jason was here, I'd just assume you're going to shine it in his face. But since Jason's not here, I'm not sure what you're going
I
to.
shot it in his face.
See, that's what I'm worried about. All right, so.
It's okay. Not okay.
Huh. Yeah. That seems right. That seems about right. So these guys cancel, as do those, and we're just left with 2x, because the 4 over the 2 cancels as well, right?
Correct.
The 2. And so I get 2x times x minus 4 over x minus 1.
I don't even know what I did, but I think I was pretty close to that.
Let's see here. Problem 6. Remember I forewarned this would happen?
Yeah, I didn't do that.
So you can break across the addition in the numerator, and then simplify powers like x over x squared is 1 over x. X to the 4th over x squared is x squared. X to the 6th over x squared is x to the 6 minus 2, which is x to the 4. 90 over 15 is 16. 25 over 15 is 5/3. 3 over 15 is 1/5.
I don't know if I got that
So-
one either.
Now, if you didn't simplify the numbers, I might not take off much. I might just take off. Well,
I
I
don't,
probably won't take off anything actually here, but
I'm pretty sure I put that. But technically, there's no real solution. I mean,
well, it's simplify. So you're supposed to simplify. So simplify. I mean, a longer version of simplify. When math instructors tell you simplify, what we're saying is perform a logical algebraic step, which is at least somewhat interesting to the reader. Demonstrate your goal in the algebra test, and this is actually true of all your classes in college, right? What's your goal in any test? Is to convince the professor that you know something, right? So, always keep that in mind. Preferably about the subject that you're currently taking the test for, right? Like if you convinced me you had some deep insight into like the analysis of Elizabethan literature, it wouldn't particularly change your math grade. I might go, oh, that's interesting. I don't know what any of those things are, but that's probably as far as it would go. So 8a cubed over 2a would be 4a squared, right? So the I've got to use my laser again. So the point is that this 8a cubed and that 2a cancels to give me 4a squared, or reduces, I should say, to give me 4a squared. And then I figured out I could factor a 2a out of the denominator. And that's as far as I can go. I mean, I can't do anything.
what I did.
Did you break up the addition?
No, I just did 8A3, and then I divided by the 40A3, and then you get 5.
Oh,
You get 1 over.
yeah, we can't do that.
But technically, it's not wrong.
I have to look at it, but
You're going to be very shocked whenever you see my paper. I did some crazy stuff on that.
So you got to stop missing class.
I've only missed 1 class.
Well, there aren't many more classes to miss at this point, right?
So
did you get that
you're
one?
just saying I should miss all of them.
I had it without you erasing.
You had it, but you erased it. Oh man. Oh man. But yeah, the cube root, we pull the minus out basically. The cube root of 64 is 4, and the cube root of 9, x to the 9th, is x to the 9 over 3, which is x cubed. So there's that.
What if we just simplified that?
Yeah,
Simplify what?
The 3 plus root 7, and it's like 5.6.
What? Oh, you mean you did it with decimal?
Yes, sir.
That's not really what's asked here. I mean, I'll give you like half credit for it or something, but this is what is expected here.
So yeah, I was just confused on the wording. All I saw was denominator, and I was thinking, get the radical out of the denominator.
Well, see, I talked about this last Thursday.
And I was not here.
Indeed,
so you have
no.
To admit that one since I wasn't here.
Indeed, no one was here, which is why I posted the video for you guys to watch.
The
But
video's not the same thing. You don't get the personal interaction.
which is why we should come to class. So
I was in Montgomery.
you're in Montgomery.
I really was.
Well, I mean, I believe you. I just don't see the relevance.
Why were you in Montgomery?
Family.
Man,
Last Thursday.
cool.
I mean, I had another student miss a test earlier today because he had to get brake pads on his car.
Well, that's reasonable. If you can't stop, you can't get here. Or you get a few tickets, maybe a couple wrecks, but that's not that big of a deal.
I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm going to stop giving. I'm just going to stop giving tests next term, like, 'cause it's just nothing but trouble. Let's go. Come in the first day of class. What grade do you want? A. All right. Let me write down. What grade do you want?
You can start
Yeah.
that now if you want to. That'd be perfectly fine.
I don't teach
You know,
psychology.
just so you can practice, get the feeling for it next year.
Honest to goodness, there was a psychology professor at the community college I went to who did that. At the end of the course, he'd be like, what grade do you think you deserve in this class? And if you told him A, you had an A. And if you told him C, you had a C.
No
I'm not a psychologist. I can't do it. Let's see here.
You never took psychology?
Oh, I took psychology. I think
Same thing. You're part of one, partially.
I don't think I remember any of it.
You don't have to. They don't either.
I mean, to me, it just seemed like a bunch of nonsense when I took it, but whatever.
I think I'm taking psychology.
What if we do
I
this,
think I
like,
have to also.
for parentheses?
Wait, no, never mind.
So,
I might have to take it.
which one do you-
Take physics
Number
instead.
Number 10?
What do you make?
If you just, you left the 4 out like that? Full credit. I wouldn't take off point for that. And that's the main thing is I wanted to see that you knew how to get the thing out of the denominator and put it upstairs. So that's this rationalizing trick where we just take what we have and we put a minus on the root and multiply, and then that has the effect of removing the square root from the denominator. That's called rationalizing the denominator because you're turning the denominator into a rational number. Like square root of 7 is not rational. Like you cannot write the square root of 7 as a ratio of 2 integers. So it's quote unquote irrational, an irrational number. After you do this arithmetic here, the denominator becomes 2. And 2 is of course a rational number. So that's what the terminology means. Let's see here. This is like that first problem on the exercise sheet, right? I had 4 and a 6 there, I think. But it's essentially that problem, right?
Correcto.
And so I hope some of you got this one. I mean, the answer isn't that pretty, but there it is. Any questions? By the way, jump in if you got questions as I'm going
Actually,
here.
I do think I got that right.
Great.
At this point, I'm basically a genius. So.
I think everyone in here can pass the class if you take time to go back
That was
and...
supposed to be 231, still 221.
Did I mess that up? Dang it.
Oh, we get bonus points.
Yeah, 210 plus 21 is 231. Oh, man. To take a point off my test. Let's see here. Thank you for pointing that out. I do appreciate it. Problem 12. We cross multiply, right? And then isolate x, and we end up with x equals to 3. And it's easy enough to go back and check that out, right? Like 3 plus 1 is 4, and 3 plus 2 is 5. So when you plug it into the left-hand side, you get 4/5, which is the right-hand side. As you can see, x equals to 3 checks. Now, problem 13, we've got a radical involved, right? So first thing we want to do is isolate the radical. We can achieve that by adding 2 to both sides, right? So that gives me the square root of 5x plus 19 equals to 3. I square both sides, I get 5x plus 19 equals to 9. Then I subtract 19 to the other side, and I get 5x equals to minus 10. And then divide by 5, x equals to minus 2. And whenever I have a problem involving radicals, as a point of habit, try to make a point of checking your work. You know, minus 2 times 5 is 10. Minus 10 plus 19 is 9. Square root of 9, 3. It works. So now I checked it with the, not the original problem, but the equation right after the original one, but you know, it's fine. Now problem 14, is, oh man, they get cut off in the scan. What's going on here? Try to, there we go. Okay, so first order of business, isolate the radical, right? And then once you do that, that's actually exactly one of the problems on our exercise sheet, right? Which is also, by the way, one of the problems that was in my math lab. Okay, I guess the one in my math lab might have different numbers slightly, but it's the same pattern, right? I think there is some randomization in my math lab. But square both sides, and we have to multiply out the x minus 8 squared. Gives me x squared minus 16x plus 64. On the other side, I get x minus 6. And then bring everything to one side. I get a minus 17, I get a plus 70, right? We worked this one in class. It factored it factors into x minus 10 times x minus 7, which suggests potential solutions of 10 and 7. But the thing is, when we check 7, we get 8 plus the square root of 1, which is 1. 8 plus 1 is 9. And of course, 9 is not equal to 7, right? Which is what we should get. Well, let's see here. Well, why am I talking about 7? Oh, okay, I'm going back to the original equation, right? 8 plus that square root is supposed to give me back x again, right? But x is 7, and yet 9 is not 7. So x
Or
equals...
you could have just guessed and seen that 10 minus 4 gives you 4. Square root of 4 is 2. 8 plus 2 equals 10.
That is true. Guessing is possible.
Would you count off if I did that?
I would not, but
Sweet.
if you did that, it makes me think that I need to make sure that the problem on the test is like not guessable.
Come on now. That's the main reason I get most of these right. I mean, it was
So-
just that one actually.
If we check 10, as you can see, when you plug 10 back into the equation, it actually does work. So,
All I try to do
as we have discussed, when we square the equation involving a radical, we can add solutions that aren't really there, right? Those extraneous solutions, we need to check to make sure we remove those. Don't count them as actual solutions in the end. Anytime we square the equations, we got to be wary of a possibility of adding extraneous solutions. So that's it. So I see you guys at the test. When's the test?
next Tuesday,
Next Tuesday. All right.
next Thursday.
Wait a minute. What is it? Next Tuesday or next Thursday?
Next Thursday.
You don't know? Oh, I don't want to spread misinformation.
No,
What-
next Tuesday is like Tuesday. It's coming up Tuesday.
It might be next Tuesday. I mean, that's possible.
How about we do next Thursday? Just so we have longer to study.
I think we're going to do whatever is in the course planner. Let's see here, where are we? 101, section 7, right? Do. Test 2, no, test 3, right? The 10th, also known as Tuesday. Yes, test 3 is on Tuesday. And then after that, next Thursday, I will review tests 1, 2, and 3. Next Thursday is a review of everything up to this point. And so that should hopefully help you prepare for final exam part 1, which is Tuesday the 17th. That is the one you need to do well on to improve your grade on in the course. Also, if you cannot come to final exam part 1 on the 17th, then unless you can make it up in person, and first of all, if you miss it, you have to have a official excuse, like I need doctor's note, I need proof of COVID exposure, I need like proof, like that is serious. Missing that is a big deal. If you do miss it for a good reason, then you pretty much need to take it in person. And if we can't find a way to do that before the end of the semester in person, then I would probably give you an incomplete in the course and ask you to come back and take the final exam next semester. So hopefully that won't happen. But just saying, final exam part 1
17th is when?
is Tuesday the 17th. It's before Thanksgiving. So.
And,
yeah.
when will the part 2 be?
It is a hypothetical I was just talking about. I mean, hopefully everyone will just come take final exam part 1 in class, and we'll be done with it, you know. But I know people have COVID exposure, quarantine, blah blah blah. And if that happens, it's not your fault. So I'm not going to like fail you for it, but I do have to give you an incomplete or something, unless we can find a way to do the test in person after Thanksgiving break.
But like you say, was it final exam part 1?
Final exam.
You cannot one of our upper test grades out.
I will actually replace not just one, but possibly all three if it helps you. But you should try to do your best on the test every time, because you never know what's going to happen in a given test, right? So this is just, but, you know, I never advise people to just wait and take this one because it'll count for everything. Like, you don't want to do that, right? If you've already got an A or a B on a test, well, then that's good. That's kind of set into place, right? If you got a C, well, that also might work, but you could probably improve it. If you got a C on the test and you study, you ought to be able to make a B next time you take it, right? If you got a B and you study, you ought to be able to make an A the next time you take it, right? I mean, this final exam part 1 is going to be an amalgam, a combination of tests 1, 2, and 3. So if you go back and understand how to do all those problems, then you got a really good shot at improving your grade. Also, you are allowed 3 pages of notes for the final exam part 1, front and back. So like, you could just take the 3 pages you had for the earlier test and just bring them all for that day, if you wanted to. Anyway, I'll shut up for now. See you guys.
Always 3:15.
See you guys
Bon voyage.
Bon voyage.